it is the Iowa Rock and Roll Music Association's Hall of Fame weekend. Would you care to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about when you were inducted?
Hi, I'm Pat Rouse. I was inducted in 2013. I was involved in music for many, many years. My sister was 10 years older than me, so I got involved in music listening to Elvis Presley, the Everly Brothers, who are from Iowa, by the way, and then I got hooked on playing guitar in the early 60s. So that was my thing. Iowa, Des Moines especially, well, all over Iowa, was filled with incredibly good musicians. All the high school dances, everything was Beatles, Dave Clark 5. We listened to everything. Some of my favorite bands, the local bands, were the Echoes 5, the Rumbles, Westminster. So I was just immersed in that when I was in high school. But I started playing professionally when I was 13. So I was involved in that. And the reason I did was because my dad, who is an incredible athlete, and I wasn't, decided that it was okay for me to play guitar. And he did everything possible for me to learn to play guitar. And one of the things that was still amazing to me was back then, Sears sold guitars. And he had a Sears credit card, went and bought me a silver tone guitar with the amp and the case. And that started me on either a path of a career or destruction, however you want to look at it.
I might ask about that later, but...
No. It's better if we don't. But then I was hooked, played through bands all through high school, played in a very successful country rock band called Colt 45, and we played together for years doing Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, but also some Jerry Jeff Walker. And then, ran its course. I moved to Sioux City, Iowa for a while. Worked there at Flood Music and had a ball living in Sioux City. Still one of my favorite towns to live in. Didn't get to live there long enough. Then I moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and operated the music store there and owned it later on and met a ton of great Northwest Iowa musicians and South Dakota musicians. And strangely enough, it was a South Dakota musician, Kevin King, that nominated me for the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm fairly sure it was just to keep me out of the South Dakota Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure that's why he nominated me.
You think he had ulterior motives?
I'm fairly positive. After seeing him again tonight, I'm pretty sure of it at this point.
So with your induction, were you inducted then as an individual or as part of a band?
As an individual performer, and also I think the time that I spent working in music stores and bringing on other musicians into the business, into the fun of playing rock and roll, playing music. Mm-hmm. So I think there was a ton of that. So not just as a musician.
So what were some of the favorite places that you had to perform here around the state?
I played here at the Roof Garden, played at the Surf Ballroom, but there were a ton of places in central Iowa, all the high schools, and then when I was in Colt 45, there were Brad's 6th Avenue Saloon, trying to think. There so many. So many. It's hard to remember all of them.
Yeah. Well, so the theme is that Iowa just has great places to play.
That we had a ton. There were nights you could be out on a Tuesday night, and there'd be in Des Moines there'd be 6 bands playing. there were 6 and 7 night a week places to play. The guys that were playing were Night Flight, the Cavaliers, Flipside, and then there was this odd band that I was in. There was a country rock band, Colt 45. So you'd be like, well, where do these guys fit in? Well, we were the party band of the group.
Everybody needs a good party.
Oh, yeah. We were the most reckless of them all, so.
So what is then one of the maybe craziest things that you've ever seen in your musical career? Camera appropriate, of course.
I cannot say what, although I do remember one night that we were trying to light a beer sign, and we had to use fireworks to light the beer sign, and it blew out all the fuses in the bar and closed the bar. So
That's pretty crazy.
it was. And then we decided to go down in the bottom of the bar and try to put the fuses back in, and it was flooded. And we still put the fuses in.
Well, so you are an inductee from 2013. So what brings you back this weekend?
I lived in Arizona for years, and we moved back last year to Iowa, and this is the first time I've got to come back. And some of my friends are being inducted, and it was just, it's just such a great feeling, and to see what they've done with the museum, with the roof garden, it's amazing. They've brought things back to this area that all of the bands just, we love doing it, and we still do.
Well, we are so happy to have you back. Glad that you're enjoying the area. Thank you for sharing some of your stories with us.
I will say one more thing. Yes. You can take any musician in Iowa, stick him in any other state, and they will do everything great. You let us in the room, we might not be the best guys in the room, the best girls in the room, but you can't kick us out of the room because we're going to be good enough that we can stay there.
I like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend.